I remember crying. I cried tears because me and Jared, we were sat together on the couch and we were facing, like he said, the mixing board and the TV. But behind us, directly behind us, was the vocal booth, and it had a see-through window. Yep. So this is when the producer now is inspired after having watched the entire movie of Purple Rain and decides now he wants to start producing. So he's doing some drums. He's done some drums. He's done a little loop, and he goes to the engineer. He goes, "Yo, man, put the mic on for me, man." And he's like, "Okay, cool." He's gonna go and hum out some melodies. Wow, this guy does everything. So no, then he's behind us. Remember, behind us.
Yep.
And all we hear is. And I'm going, "What is that?" And Jared turns around. He goes, "Oh, shit." I go, "What?" He goes, "Dude, he's playing air guitar."
Jay Sean's Basement Banter.
Welcome, everyone. I am Jay Sean. This is Basement Banter. And I am with, I am with three of my bloody closest friends. One of them being the incredible guest today. First of all right, Adam. All right, Todd, how are we doing?
Good, lads.
Doing good.
Yeah, so we know, obviously you know our guest very well, but for those who are just tuning in and may not know, I have been told to say here in the text message, Jared Cotter is a Grammy-nominated, multi-platinum selling songwriter, mainly through my records, turned record executive and co-founder of The Heavy Group, which is home to stars like Barzy, Kiana Lede, JaVale McGee, Rice and Peas, and more. I sound like, when those guys do like a supermarket contestant, like those and more. The price is right. Yeah. Come on down. Anyway, fucking, this is a long bio, Jared. Bloody hell, mate. Can't I just say it's one of my best mates, Jared? Give it up for Jared Cotter.
I love it. Wait, there's no applause on this show? Like,
no, we had it in afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, the sound effects afterwards. Todd had a good one. Todd, what happened to your pew, pew, pew?
Yeah, where'd that go? It kind of...
There you go. I need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
So obviously, look, a lot of my hardcore fans know Jared from many years before. I mean, geez, bro, me and you have so much history. Much history, and there's too much to talk about. And this actually is quite a funny moment for me and a fun moment. You know why?
Why?
Because remember back in the day when you used to work at Fuse and you used to interview me, and I used to sit there and rip on you how you used to do your interview face, and you had a whole different voice. Can you do it for us, please?
I can't do that right now because I'm the one being interviewed. So,
Bro, I'm so happy to have you here. And I remember when I was on Fuse with you or whatever, or you had a bunch of stuff you used to do presenting for.
Yeah.
And we always used to laugh because probably the day before we were in the studio together writing songs.
Right.
And then the next day you'd be like, so today's guest is multi-platinum. And now I'm doing that with you. So
it's so funny, man.
Right? So let's for all the people that might not know, Jared and I met 12, I'm gonna say maybe 12, 13 years ago, bro. What do you think?
At least, right? So yeah, it was probably
2000. Maybe longer.
No, I think
2007,
2008, 2007, 8. Yeah. That makes sense. I met Jared pretty much the same time I met Tara, my wife, and it was just me and you clicked immediately, right? Because you actually knew Tara. Tara was a friend of yours, and we clicked immediately over, like, we were at some dinner. He was like, "I like this guy," just like straight. He just looks at Tara. "I approve." And yeah,
you can date him. It's all good.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you and T were friends before Jay and T were together?
Yeah. So what happened was I was dating a girl at the time that was friends with Tara, and Tara came to us and was just like, "Hey, I met this guy, and I really like him. I think it could be something. I need you guys to do a double date, and this way you could tell me if you approve or not." And I forget where we went, but someplace in New York. And it was a lot of fun. We kicked it off. you know, and Jay wound up staying in my life and that girl didn't. So
look at that.
So
Isn't that
it's
got the
crazy?
sign off, but he got the sign off.
He definitely got the sign off that night. And I think either a day or two, maybe 2 days later, we were in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, it's so amazing how these things happen. And I think people need to know why it's so beautiful, because had it not been for that double date, I wouldn't have clicked with Jared the way that I did, to the point where I said, bro, we need to write some songs together. Because he was like, yeah, I'll write songs. I was like, well, let's write. Hello, we only just wrote some of the biggest songs ever in the world, like Down, Do You Remember, 2012. All of these songs we wrote together.
Yeah.
And it was, thank you. Yeah. That
Right on time.
some more, all of that.
Yeah.
But that was literally from that one meeting. And so many songs on My Own Way, which is, you know, some of people, and All or Nothing album. So many beautiful songs that we wrote together. And now, bro, I mean, this is going to be a, you know, obviously it's an hour-long podcast, so we've got a lot to talk about. But now you're kind of on the other side of the table. But let's talk about the early days. Let's talk about the songwriting days. Let's talk even before the songwriting days, when you yourself were singing and wanted to be an artist. Tell me, let's talk about those days.
Yeah, I think, you know, I grew up in New York, and like any struggling artist, musician, was like just trying to make it, you know. Anytime anybody said that I could sing or write, I'd be there, you know, and ready and with good energy. I think that people, that's you know, not to get off on a tangent, but being on the other side now, I see the difference in when a writer or a producer or even an artist doesn't come in with the right energy, and it literally brings the room down. And Tada, you know, you can attest to this too. 100%. You know, when you don't walk in with the right energy, you're not going to come out with what you need, you know, to change your life. One song could change your life, you know, as we know. And I would just walk in with great energy every time, and no matter what it was. And you know, I think people like that. So I started getting called for more and more things. And but it's tough being in music. And I remember I was pretty down and out about things. And I called my mom and I was like, listen, it's not happening for me. I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna move in with you, or just, you know, become a banker or something, you know. And she was like, well, I heard that there was this American Idol audition, you know, and it's tomorrow. You should do it and see what happens. I was like, you know, F it, you know, I've tried everything else. Why not try this too? And it literally saved me and allowed me to, you know, talk about one day. You know, one day saved me, and it allowed me to stay in New York, and ultimately that led to meeting you. If I had not spent that extra day in New York to go to that audition,
so insane,
you and I would have never met, because we would have never went on that double date. It's just crazy how you can like go back in your life and map it out. You know, like this particular moment, this particular decision changed everything, changed the course of my life. And it worked out, you know. I forget where I was going with that, but
no, I want to know American Idol.
You started, American Idol. Tell us about that.
Yeah, American Idol was a crazy thing. You know, you're at that time, it was the biggest show ever. You know, it was the height of success. 40 million people a night would watch it. And it's crazy. The crazy thing is, you know, I made it. I was number 12 or 13. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. And I was on for like three weeks. So at the time it was 2 shows a week. So 6 shows total. And people knew me immediately. I had to have security to walk down La Cienega Boulevard in Los Angeles after recording. That's how big the show was.
It was in LA, the shooting.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The first audition was in New York, obviously, because that's, you know how they go to your hometown. And then that's you know, once you make the live shows, it's in LA. But it's like a boot camp. American Idol or, those shows, because they throw you into these situations that you would be thrown into as an artist, such as yourself, who took the traditional route, which is all this stuff, all the ups and downs. And, but it makes it kind of in this bubble for you. And, it happened really fast, and people still like, what do I know you from? And this, years later, it's crazy.
For the longest time, your bio said "as seen on TV." For the longest, his Twitter handle, his Instagram, his everything was Jared Cotter, as seen on TV.
Oh man, I was so corny. The thing is, back then,
but it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so funny. Back then, I was like, "Yo, no, this is who I am. I'm the shit, and I need everybody to know, even in my email signature, that you've seen me on TV."
Amazing. But bro, I know you're my bro. It's very easy for us to slip straight into bro zone.
Yeah, sorry.
There are no. You're not doing anything wrong at all. This is brilliant. I want to make sure that everybody gets to hear the stories that I might already know. Because sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that. And let's talk about, but dude, let's stay on American Idol for a second.
Okay.
Because what I remember asking you was, look, I'm an artist, and even when I go on TV, it's a very different experience performing on TV than it is performing live to my own fans at a concert.
Yeah.
Because when I'm singing on TV, not everyone there is my fan, and not everybody watching is my fan. Clearly, it's going out to so many people who aren't Jay Sean fans, and they're just there to watch. I might be on, the Conan show, but they're there because they're like Conan. They're not there for Jay Sean. So when you were performing on TV, were there any nerves, or were you just all like, wow, this is my moment? Were you even prepared for what a live performance on TV would entail?
No, I don't think anybody is, especially at that level. When 40 million people are about to see your face in an instant, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of nerves that come into play, right? And I think the difference between what happens with an artist that is not from a reality show, the difference is you don't have a producer in your ear saying, did you do that great in the rehearsal? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you should think about what you should be doing to make this the best performance of your life, because what they want to do is they're trying to get the rise. They're trying to get the emotion out of you, because what you'll find to learn is that it's actually not about the music. It's about the show on those shows, right? It's about the entertainment, and they want the contestants to feel that emotion, right? So that's the difference. But it is like throwing those contestants into the hot seat, real fast. And some of these, contestants are 13, 14 years old. I couldn't even imagine, for real. Like it's a lot of pressure. But
so wait, you're saying they were saying that in your ear? They were winding you up?
I remember after, I think it was the top 40.
Right.
They put you all in a room and everybody's talking. It was like great. Everybody's like, "Oh man, yeah, great. You did good too." Just cheering each other on. And then Ryan Seacrest came in and they made you sit on against the walls, like you would, just like single file against the wall, and as you would in grade school, and. Everyone was still talking, and they said, "Everyone stop talking. Just be silent."
And they're filming. They're
filming everything.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they're like, they said what I said earlier. It was like, "Did you really do that great? Think about it. Maybe you made a mistake that that maybe the world just saw."
That's so mean. That's raw.
So think about that as you. For the next time. And by the way, here's Simon Cowell. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
my
God. It's like, oh shit. I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, you are allowed to. Yeah, no.
All right, cool. Fine. It's like, oh man, like, wow, maybe I didn't hit that note as good.
Oh,
and I watch it back, and they do those things, but at the same time, like the support that they give you afterwards is incredible. But I'm not talking bad about them, but it's a pressure cooker.
Although those shows have kind of disappeared for a minute, what's your, because now you're on the other side of the fence. Now you're management. Now you're in charge of creating, arguably, some big artists. Bazi, Kiana Lede, Alec King. You can also give me, some of the other ones that I've missed off. Oh, Jay Sean. Well, no, okay, guy. Sorry. But that's it's your podcast.
Yeah, that guy.
But how would you advocate artists going on these shows as such anymore? Do they have their time and their place? Are they a relic of the past? And also, laterally, what have you learned from being an artist and going through that experience that you apply to managing your artists?
Yeah, I think it depends on the artist, Adam, to be honest with you. I think there are some artists and in today's age where you can easily do your own thing by uploading straight to Spotify, by, having an Instagram page. I didn't have any of that stuff, and as a matter of fact, they weren't equipped back then. I had a MySpace page back then. And when I made the show, they literally shut the MySpace page down because they wanted to control all the content. They didn't realize that it's actually extra promotion, which I think they do now. They allow, I think they even put, like, when you make American Idol, it's like Jared Cotter, American Idol, whatever, they make you change your handle. So you're promoting the show. They didn't, it was new territory back then. So I think it all depends on who you are as an artist. Like if you're that big belty singer, absolutely go on one of those shows. I think those types of singers do well. But if you're, a grassroots, about my fans and I'm on Instagram and I'm building and I'm on Twitter, Twitch and TikTok and I'm doing that stuff on my own, then no, I don't think that those shows will serve you. Yeah. So many people always ask me and they say to me, do you think it's easier now or is it harder now as an artist? And I say, the truth is, I actually don't know, because when I came up, like you said, I did the traditional route, right? You showcase for the record company and they're like, yes, let's sign him, man. Let's put him in the studio with so-and-so, X. And it's just all like that, right? Yeah. And now you can have a hit off a meme and, literally a viral meme. And you didn't do any of that, and you're in your bedroom, and all of a sudden you're more famous than some of the people on radio. It's facts.
And everybody knows your face, and they don't even know the guy on the radio's face because all they do is hear his song, but they've seen your face all over Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Yep. So, but then the problem is the competition is more. That's way more artists. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy. I think it's easier to get your stuff out there, but the fact that because it's so easy, there's so many more artists, quote unquote. You know what I mean? There's, if you look at even New Music Friday or New Music Daily on Apple Music, like it's ridiculous how much music comes out every week.
So much. Do you actually know how much? Because there is a number. I think Jeremy told us once.
40,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify every week.
Yeah.
Say that again.
40,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify every week.
Yeah,
that's 200,000 a month.
So imagine being a kid who just loves music. You don't actually have time to consume it.
How could you?
Even when we come out with new songs, like we literally, our company, the Heavy Group, we dropped like 60 songs today. And I bet you tomorrow you can read some of these artists' comments that we dropped today, and they'll be like, "Ooh, can't wait for new music."
I know.
It's like, wait, we just dropped 60 songs.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you give yourself some time to get into it, to learn the song, to learn about the artist. I remember when every Tuesday was when albums used to come out when I was growing up. Yeah. I would literally, Mom, please take me to the record store. Please take me to Sam Goody. It was, you know what I mean? And I would take my time. I would open the CD. I would look at who wrote the song, who produced it. What label is it on? Like, I was interested in all that stuff. These kids today, they're like, oh, I like that song. Who's the artist? I have no idea. You know?
I know.
It's a different time.
It is. And sometimes like I do think about the fact that obviously we're from a different generation of music. When we grew up listening to music, like you said, that's exactly what it was. It wasn't New Music Fridays. It was when we'd go to the mall with our parents and I'd go to the, and that's when we'd discover all the music and this, that, and the other. And even then, even in like when Down, and do you remember in 2012 and all those songs, when those were big, you were one of 40 songs in the entire world. Okay?
Yeah, man.
You are one of 40. That's why it's called Top 40 Radio. One of 40 songs that were being played on radio.
Yeah.
And like you just said, there's 200,000 every month coming out, new songs.
It's crazy.
Trying to have a hit in this day and age. That's why when people say to me, is it harder or easier? I don't know the answer.
Yeah. It's still hard. It's just hard differently, if that makes sense. It's just different, period.
Actually, to that end, you touched upon like when you would read the liner notes and read those CDs, you would check out the label and who the label was. And as you said, both you guys are responsible for, these huge hits like Down, Do You Remember 2012 and many, many more. One particular label that you obviously both of you guys dealt with was Cash Money.
Mm-hmm.
I know the fans always love hearing these crazy anecdotes from back in the day. What was Jared Cotter and Jay Sean's experience like working in the YMCMB?
Dude.
Oh man, I mean Jay's got the story or tells the stories much better than I do.
I've never heard of any Jared's experiences.
We had the best time of our lives, man.
There was nothing better than that time for me. You know what I mean? But speaking about the liner notes, though, like just to go back to that real quick, Adam, is that back in the day, you would read the liner notes and that like Jared Cotter or whoever co-wrote that with Jay Sean. Kids they don't go back and see like who wrote that song. Thank goodness, the DSPs are now putting credits, like you can click on it and see, but that's something you'd have to like really search to do.
You'd have to actively go and want to do that. Yeah,
you gotta want to do it. It's not in the culture anymore to do it, so I don't think most of the listeners do.
No.
And unfortunately, like a hit record lasts a couple weeks now. When back in the day, a hit record, Mariah Carey, Mariah Carey be on number one for 25 weeks. You're like, wow, this is incredible.
Dude. I was go on, carry on.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you just said that the hit record lasts 2 or 3 weeks, right? And yet again, our songs from our generation, from the early 2010, let's say, are still like yesterday morning. It's on the breakfast show on Z100, right? Yeah. They're recurring records because they are just now timeless. Yeah. And the reason why I personally think some of these songs today might not be as timeless is because people don't live with them for long enough.
Yeah, I agree. Right? Like Down and Do You Remember those songs? They, I remember we would get videos sent to us, or like, some kids would come up to you after a show and yell, oh, that was my homecoming song. Oh, that was the song that at my prom that everybody loved. It was nostalgic. That's not really, it doesn't cut into the fabric of culture like, some songs do, absolutely. But but it's not like it was. And I hate to sound like Al Bundy, like, man, back in my day, but
well, speaking about it's not how it was, I'm gonna come back and ask that question again. I'm going to ask you for some YMCMB anecdotes. You're not dodging the question.
No, you know what? Look, Adam, you know what it is? There's certain things that I know, even Jared's like, oh, you're allowed to talk about that? Can we say that? Can we say?
I'm like, baby might come around the corner and be like, hey, don't say that.
All right. No, but we'll save that for the biographies then.
I won't tell you who the producers were, But I remember, and I'm going to hop around the anecdote. I'm going to change it.
Oh, I know this story.
He knows. So Jared and I remember I talked about it last week, guys, with Tiffany. I said how I've just walked out of sessions.
Oh, yes.
Like, I don't care who you've produced for. And that's not me being an arrogant prick. That's just me going, yo, man, we have to create. No, there's no energy. How are you meant to write a song together if I can't even vibe with you, dude? Like, I can't. So we sit there with me and Jared go to this session. And Jared and I remember we wrote basically at this time, literally every song of mine was with Jared. It was just me and him was the winning combo. So we'd go from studio to studio and we sit there and there's this one producer and he's like, yo, man, play me some of your music, dog. And I was like, yeah, cool. So I play it. He's like, I fucks with that. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke real quick. You all right with that? And I was like, it's your studio. Yeah, sure. And then, you know, it was pretty strong, pungent smell. And he saw me. He's like, oh, my bad, man. I'm gonna step outside. Don't worry. And I was like, okay, cool. He stepped outside for 4 hours. And Jared and I were sat in the studio going, where's he gone? I go outside. We go outside. His friends are there watching the game. He's sleeping on the sofa. Okay, just knocked out. I was like, all right, let's get some food. So the guy wakes up. He's like, oh, yo, man, my bad. You guys want to eat? I was like, yeah. He's like, I got you. Gets on the phone, disappears again. Okay, Jared and I are just sitting there. It's now 8 hours have gone by. And then he comes in. He goes, I need some inspiration, man. He's ready to work now. He's had a fucking nice long nap. He's eaten. So he goes to the engineer, he goes, put on Purple Rain. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, that's a great song. And I look up, no, the movie. He wants to watch the fucking movie now. Yeah. Inspiration.
What I thought was funny after he was just like, oh, my bad. You know, I'll go outside and smoke this. When he came back in, he lit up another one right in front of us.
Yeah. Forgot.
He totally forgot.
Yeah.
And I just remember him. We were, you know, it was like a tiered setup, and we were behind the console. And in the front, there was a big TV, and he was watching Purple Rain, arms out like this, like
feeling every minute,
stomping on the floor. You see this shit? You see it?
But then at the end of it, like, I'm hoping at the end of it, you're like, and then we wrote 2012, and then the rest was history.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I think shortly after that, we called the car. And that was like, that.
We're done. Let's wrap this up.
It was shortly after. Yeah, go on.
You know what, though? It's like, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have the story to tell.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like, we wouldn't have had the experience together. I feel like, you know, obviously we were very close then, but those stories make us closer. You know, and the things like that when they happen, especially when you're in a creative relationship like we were. You know, those things make the bond and the songs ultimately better. You know,
so how do you have to protect an artist?
I wouldn't trade it.
How do you have to protect an artist from that now as you're the manager? Like now with your manager head on, if you got that anecdote, like I won't pick any name, but like if one of your artists was to hit you up like this, I mean, what's Jared Cotter's response?
See, it's funny. Like I know in ways I'm supposed to be protective of them for that, right? They're like, you know, oh wait, the producer's he's not in the room. He's not doing that. I'm going to call him right now, you know, get him in the room. But also you need those stories. You need that humility. You know what I mean? You need those things to say in a podcast 15 years later. You do.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, it makes you a better artist. It makes you a better writer. It makes you, and again, it makes you closer to.
Whose phone is pinging off? Is that somebody's phone is going?
Do you hear that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Sorry.
Bloody managers.
Sorry, I'm blown.
Also, from personal experience, if you have like a bad session, then the next one is really good. Because you won't believe what just happened, and then they pour all that emotion into the record.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's such a good point, Todd, because you'll talk about it and they're like, oh shit, I better not do that then.
It was like they have to pull their socks up. I just had it. Oh, okay. Well, I'll not act the fool then. I'll actually focus and do my work. So. Yeah.
But you see, it's true. Those kind of things brought me and Jared closer because we genuinely laughed. I remember crying. I cried tears because me and Jared, we were sat together on the couch and we were facing, like he said, the mixing board and the TV. But behind us, directly behind us, was the vocal booth, and it had a see-through window. Yep. So this is when the producer now is inspired after having watched the entire movie of Purple Rain and decides now he wants to start producing. So he's doing some drums. He's done some drums. He's done a little loop, and he goes to the engineer. He goes, "Yo, man, put the mic on for me, man." And he's like, "Okay, cool." He's gonna go and hum out some melodies. Wow, this guy does everything. So no, then he's behind us. Remember, behind us.
Yep.
And all we hear is. And I'm going, what is that? And Jared turns around. He goes, oh, shit. I go, what? He goes, dude, he's playing air guitar.
He was doing Purple Rain as air guitar?
I said,
his version. Yeah.
I said, yeah. He goes, please don't look. Please don't look. I said, I have to look now. Yeah. So now, of course, I turn around and he is in the zone playing air guitar. And that's it. We lost it. Yeah. Me and you lost it. We were crying.
I think he knew. I think he knew at that point.
Yeah, it was done. That day was done. That was a wash.
Yeah, it was a wrap.
Was this in Florida?
This was.
No, say where it was.
Not say where it was.
yeah.
It was abroad.
Guys, I feel like I have to. My mic's not working, but I feel like I have to.
Just hold it.
You know, hold it.
There we go.
You know, hold it up just like this.
So
what's happening.
So we had some hilarious times, man. But do you, bro? I know I miss writing with you. I miss writing with you a lot, just because not only were we had, how many times we used to say we're the fucking sickest combo. We were so. Yeah. Can we talk? Actually, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about our names. We had a few names. Like we were trying to find like what our writing duo would be called.
Let's go through them.
I remember my favorite was the Craftmatics.
Yeah.
Because, at the time there was a Craftmatic bed and we were like, don't sleep on us. You know, no. We're always slept on, right?
Yeah. Craftmatics, because we keep getting slept on.
Everyone's sleeping on us. Yeah.
And then, and by the way, obviously these weren't the jokey names. Then my personal favorite was the confused hypochondriacs. Why are we so sick?
Oh, Jesus.
Damn, bro. Why are we so sick?
That's such good British humor.
Yeah, bro.
Confused hypochondriacs. That's amazing.
You imagine
I remember that. And then we really tried to get serious with it. I remember there was a restaurant that we were at. Oh, yeah. The Standard.
The Standard.
It was a hotel. We were like.
What, the one in LA?
We were actually in New York.
Oh, my
God. Meatpacking district. And, we were like, yo, the Standard, like it's standard to have us on your album or that we write together.
And we set the standard, guys, we need a hit. We better call the Standard.
Ooh, that's
still dope. That's actually still dope, but probably already copywritten. So
yeah, except we don't write songs together anymore, so it's not fair.
Why? That's whack though. We actually should.
I know, but then again, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how the segue, what happened and how you went from becoming the songwriter to the other side.
Ooh, way to bring it back. That's good hosting. Yes, that's good hosting right there.
Professional now.
Yeah, I think, because songwriters aren't like artists where, like after we write the song and put the album together, you have to go really do work at that point. You have to go on tour. You have to do, promo. You have to, there's a lot of things that you do that or an artist does it that the writer doesn't. So I started writing or trying to go do other sessions with other people. And like, I got really, it's a grind, songwriters will go out and do 2, 3, 4 sessions a day sometimes. Yeah. And I'm not afraid to say it. I was burnt out being on that cycle. And not only burnt out, I remember, I went from doing 3 to 2 sessions and then 2 to 1 sessions a day. And then I was like every other day because, it's a lot of work, but also you get tired of chasing. You know, you get tired of chasing artists, because I may have an amazing record for Rihanna, but maybe she's not recording now. You know, maybe she doesn't want to put out the album, and then the politics come out. You know, maybe artist X. You know, the label is only, looking for writers that are signed to that management company, same or whatever the case may be. And I got really tired of that rat race. But I knew what I was good at was knowing what a good song was, knowing what a star looks like. Because
you'd hung around with me for a long time, and you would
I was just about to give you your flowers, bro. Yeah, because I know what that looks like. Jay is a unicorn. You know, you are a unicorn. You're a bona fide superstar, proven over 20 years. And that, being around that energy, being around someone who just has it to win. You now know what it looks like moving forward. It is.
Well, I feel like a dick now. I was making a joke, and then you went and said all that nice stuff. We'll just snip it out. Snip the dick part. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it will just be Jared going, Jay Sean, one of the biggest singers.
Nah, leave it in.
Yeah. No, we're joking. No, thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. But it's easy to recognize. And then when you see guys like this guy.
I was about to say, as a segue, just to preface that, knowing what a hit song looks like, knowing what a star looks like, the Heavy Group, one of your biggest artists, Bazi, the track Mine was just this breakout smash. How did you guys find Bazi, and how did that whole chain of events transpire quite quickly? As I remember, I remember Bazi being around the whole crew and Jay and writing and stuff, and then suddenly the kids just like...
Yeah, I met Bazi when he was about to turn 17. So he was 16 years old. He was a senior in high school. And I met with him at a hotel in Santa Monica. It was like a little restaurant downstairs. And he looked me in my face and was like, I'm going to be the biggest star in the world. And I believed him, and I still do. We've had a lot of ups and downs and all the things that happen with an artist's career. But I saw what I see in Jay in him. I still do. He's got everything that it takes to have a great career. And when I recognized that in him, I knew immediately he was someone that I wanted to work with. And knowing that I really didn't want to be a writer too much anymore. I was hosting TV shows. I was Emmy nominated as a TV host. So I felt like I had done what I wanted to do. And any further would have been what I felt like not who I was as a person. Like, I was on a show or network that I had to be on a red carpet and ask people what are you wearing? And no shade to anybody that does that, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't
for you. Yeah.
It wasn't for me, man,
Right.
and I got into a tussle with a well-known actor, because he didn't like the question that I asked him, and let me run this by you guys, see if it would have pissed you off, Jay.
Go on. So
A-list actor, I'm not going to say the name, obviously, but A-list actor for sure. And at the time he was it just came out that he was dating this other A-list actress.
I was about to say, don't say the name of the actress, because that would
that would give it away, right? Right before the interview, I remember I was walking in, and it was like this big time press junket in New York, and there's people everywhere, and everyone's like being quiet, and, it's like, okay, when you walk in, when you go in here, try to get out of him that while he's in New York, he's going to see this actress. Try to get out of him that they're dating, because it was, at the time, it was only a rumor, although it's like one of those rumors are true.
Right.
So I'm interviewing.
Oh, sorry, who's telling you this? The people that you're working
with? The producer that I'm working with,
you.
For this massive network. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. Sure, definitely. I have no problem asking. Great. I walk in, the interview's going fine. you know, they give you like these little countdowns. You have 2 minutes. So I was like, all right, 2 minutes. It's a good time to get this question out. And I was like, so, you know, let's move to your personal life. I hear while you're in New York, you may see this person. You know, are you going to go and stop by the set? And he was like, I'm not answering that question. How dare you ask me that? It's ridiculous. And I was like, it's pretty much everywhere, man. I'm just trying to talk to you as a human being, bro. You know, like let's just you know have some basement banter. And and he was like, I'm not answering that. That's you know, that's terrible. I was like, okay, so you're gonna see her then. You know, I tried to make it lighthearted and he was like, I'm not answering that. I was like, all right, cool. Let me just move off it. And I went to ask him another question. At the time, this might give it away, but at the time he was People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey man, you're People's Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. What kind of advice do you have for guys like me? You know, like who aren't? And I'm not answering that either. I was like, well, we're done here. We're done here. We're done here then. You know, and like that was a real like change for me. That was like an eye-opening thing for me in my career. It's like I can't ask this guy a question that is obviously all over the place already because it, you know, and you're both in the limelight. This is part of the gig, man. Don't get mad at me because I asked you a question.
100%.
You know? So I knew right then and there that it was no longer for me. I hosted probably for another year after that, just because, you know, hey, the checks were nice. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. But after that, I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do, and I knew my skill set was in music and in knowing what a great song looks like. And we've had some really good success, Jeremy, my partner, and I. Yep.
Absolutely, man. Bro, congrats first of all to you. You should have said it at the beginning, but like you said, I think we said it off. We weren't even recording, but 3 albums dropped today from the Heavy Group. So you had Bazi, not Bazi. So you have Kiana, you have Angelique. And you have Alec King.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing. Pew, pew, pew to all of that.
Thank you, man. Todd is off on his job today, but that's
So wait, so I'm actually curious, Jared, because I haven't talked to you or Jeremy about this. What's the thinking behind why actually? Isn't it? I would have thought maybe they would need individual time on each project. So I'm actually quite curious.
Well, here's where the politics of music come in. You know, this is the stuff that, you know, you don't necessarily think about. But you know, we're 2 weeks before a major election, probably the most major election in American history. So, you know, putting out an album right before or after that, you're probably you'll get lost in the sauce a little bit. You know, 2 of those artists that you mentioned, in Alec King and in Angelique, it's their debut projects. So, you know, we want to make sure that there's at least some type of awareness that won't get overshadowed by a massive thing like an election. And then right after the election, we go to Thanksgiving, and people are kind of like, you know, very tunnel vision on family and all that. So we decided, you know, October 23rd would be enough of a buffer between those things, or before those things, to give our artists, especially the new ones, you know, Kiana has fans, she's going to do what she does. But in Alec and Angelique, to make sure that they have the chance that they deserve. You know, we're really, really, and whoever's listening to this podcast, whoever's watching it, you know, congratulations, because you can see who we are. Yeah, just joking.
So I always get it.
You can see why Jay and I get along.
Amazing.
You know, they those 2 albums, you know, or mixtape in Angelique's case, is they're fantastic. You know, I believe in them now. You know, and
I'm not too familiar with Angelique's stuff. I have, of course, I was there in LA while you guys were going back and forth with her project. And from what I heard, she, you know, it was amazing. But Alec is my, you know, I just love that boy so much, and we all do. You know,
everything backwards.
Yes, sir.
I think all four of us have a special, like, I mean, you know, Adam knows him in completely different ways to the same way I know him in a different way. So does Todd. So do you, right?
Yeah.
But he's such a good kid. And, you know, for me, writing a lot of the, you know, what is basically the Mistress 3 together with Alec was really, really enjoyable. So I'm so happy for him, man. So everyone who's listening, watching, please go and stream it. It's really, really, really fucking good. Everything's backwards from Alec King. And you want to give the names of the other two albums, bro? Just plug it.
Yeah. And Angelique is the mixtape is called You Get Me.
You get me, bruv.
And the great thing about Angelique's album or mixtape is that it's all throwback samples. You know, so you know they're original records, but you'll recognize if you loved, you know, 2000s and late 90s R&B, you'll love this mixtape.
That's us, bro.
That's us. Like I listen to it like it's not like I have nothing to do with it. You know, Angelique, I found at a club. I found her at a club, and I saw her. She was 15 at the time, performing at a 21 and up club. And you know, I won't say what club it is. I don't want to. I don't want to get them in trouble. But it was a well-known club here in LA, and I saw her. She's 4'0" and looked like a giant on that stage. Like she just her energy was felt, and people didn't know who the hell she was, or you know, didn't know the song, and they were dancing. Like, you know how hard it is to get people to dance in LA.
Oh man. Even when they know your song.
Right.
Seriously.
And I remember calling Jeremy the next day, and I was like, I found a star. I found it. So, you know, we're really excited about her.
Dope, man.
Angelique. And then Kiana Lede, we released Kiki, the deluxe version. So her album came out April 3rd, and this is the deluxe version of that we just dropped October 23rd. So it's got 7 new songs. Got all hitters. It's got Gary Clark Jr. as a feature. It's got Ari Lennox as a feature on there. It's a fantastic. Jacquees, thank you. Aunt Clemens, thank you.
Todd with the knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
I recorded them all.
Yeah, he did, and did a great job doing so. By the way,
sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sir. Well done, Todd. But you're all over all 3 projects.
Can we get Todd? Can you give yourself? Can you give? Yourself one?
Okay.
Todd, can you give yourself one?
Yeah.
There you go. Jared, so just backtrack really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, when we're talking about the songwriting, one thing that I think is really fun for the listeners to know is that this is how Jared and I used to write. We never overthought a song ever.
Never.
And I'm talking about even from like the vibey ones that were on All or Nothing and My Own Way, even like the vibey songs, right? But through to the big singles, when Jared and I would write, there was zero ego involved. So what would happen would be we'd sit there and the track is playing, and I might come out with a melody, but I know, and Jared would go, I like that. He wouldn't go, let me try something. If he liked it, he said, I like that. If I came up with a lyric suggestion that wasn't cool, he'd be like, what about so and so? And I go, love it. Boom. There was no ego. If you came out with something, a melody that I loved, I was like, yes. Because to be honest, we really tend to like the same we
things.
Write very similar. Yeah. We have very similar melodies. We have very similar sort of lyric ideas. But at the bottom of it all was the fact that we had so much fun doing it. And if it felt right, we stuck with it. I think even when it came to Down and stuff like that. Oh, actually, forget Down. Let's talk about, there's a song that I had called I Won't Tell. Remember this?
I Won't Tell.
Yeah, On My Own Way. You want to know how that song was written? Yo, me and Tara had just started dating. Tara and I had just started dating. It was really on the hush hush. And then I think we were in the room. Jared and I were writing. The track was playing. We hadn't really written a hook or anything yet. And then I think we were talking casually and I was like, oh yeah, well, no, I just, Tara and I told them about so-and-so dating. And you already knew, obviously. Yeah. And then you looked at me like, oh, so we're telling people now? Yeah. And he said that and I went, no. And he goes, don't worry, I won't tell. And I went, that's pretty sick. He goes, you're right. It is. Put that down. So we kept the lyric and the melody.
Yeah, that's true.
We kept the lyric and the melody because that's what came out at the time. And that's how and then we wrote a song around it.
Yep.
And my favorite always will be Stuck in the Middle. Sorry, Karen, but yeah.
Stuck in the Middle's an incredible song.
One. It's a great one.
So good. That was like one of the first ones we ever wrote, I think, together.
Sure.
If not, maybe the first, I think.
Yeah. And then you fucked me over and put Craig David on it, but that's all right.
I still, again, I prefer your version. I do.
Oh,
not just that. I definitely prefer your version.
I'm totally joking. Craig David should have been on the version period because Craig David is Craig David.
Yeah,
and incredible.
But I was
thank you, bro. I was thankful to just be on it at all.
It was amazing.
But those are great times, man. There was another Stuck in the Middle, I Won't Tell.
Dude, all of them. We did so many. Like the whole All or Nothing album was me and you, basically.
Yeah, it was. Let me tell you about Down real quick, because sometimes it's tough to explaining to people, like when you're like, oh yeah, I'm a writer. I write music. And you're like, well, how does that work out? Because I looked at the credits or whatever, or who'd you write it with? You're like, I co-wrote it with Jay. And be like, wait, so you co-write? So how does that work? And so my uncle would always give me shit. He'd be like, wait, so when you said down, did he say down right after? So maybe are you down? And you're like, down, like. So it's tough to explain to people. It's like, nah, it just kind of works out like that. Weird.
And that's what we do. Like a lot of the time, I think, especially for Down, lyrically, it was just. I think like I can't remember who did what, but I remember like Jared might have gone. You probably did, because he would do his Jay Sean impression where he go, "What no," which is how he thinks I sing, right? Which we always laugh about. And I went, "What do you say?" He goes, "I don't know. You want to know? Let's put that down. You want to know? Yeah. You want to know what? Is the night to let it go?
Great.
Let's go. Let's write that down. Boom, boom,
Sounds
boom.
good.
And we would just do that. We would build upon it, like just like that. And really, the thing was, we were vibing with each other and we were having fun. And truth be told, we were like, we're gonna hit a spot after this, right? We're gonna probably go out, hit a bar or something. It's like, we're like, all right, let's just get this written. Let's just wait. Damn, we spent an hour and a half on this one, bro. I was like, yeah, I know. He's like, that's too long. Wrap it up. We're going.
We're slipping.
I'm not lying. We wrote down in an hour.
Wow. Well, not even, we wrote
maybe 45 minutes. Yeah.
We wrote it and you recorded it all within an hour. Like it was probably hour and a half, maybe.
Hour and a half.
And like, because Jeremy actually tricked you into,
he did trick me
into recording that. That's a whole nother story. But Jeremy, it would trick you into recording the whole version. So we had 100%. It to play for the label the next day. And man.
I don't know if we've told this story, so I'm just going to retell it.
You haven't.
Okay. So Jared and I wrote the song, and it's fresh in our mind. So usually after I write any song, I will go and put down what we call a scratch, right? I'll put down a demo. Now, depends on how certain people work. Some people like to sing the song fully there and then. Me, depending on the vibe, I mean, if I have to really feel like recording. You really have to be in a zone to want to record the song. Todd, you know this. Sometimes, and majority of the time, I'll just write the song, put a quick ref, and probably come the next day fresh and record the song. But because it was so fresh and Jeremy knew that my voice was just in the pocket, it was perfectly where it should be. It was nice and warm. It was late at night. He said, go and put a scratch down. I said, cool, I'll go and put a scratch down. And I was like, but after this, we're hitting a bar, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So like all I care was like, I just wanted to go out in Miami.
Let's get to the bar.
Let's go. We're going to hit the town. So Jeremy, I'm putting it down and I'm like, all right, cool. Jeremy's like, just do that one line again. And I was like, dude, it's only a reference. He's like, yeah, but come on. It's just fine. I mean, I want to, just put it down. You sound good right now. Cool. So he's tricking me the whole time. I still think I'm recording a demo. By the time we finish, And honestly, I cut the song in like half an hour, right?
Yeah.
Like just cut.
Quick.
And Todd, sometimes I can cut really quick if I'm in the zone. And the song was done. I'm still thinking it's a demo. He's played it to the label the next day. Slim's heard it. He goes, that's going to be your first single. I was like, damn, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, shit, I better record it then. And they're looking at me going, huh? Like, it's finished.
Done.
And that was it.
Yeah, man.
Because sometimes the magic is just in the moment.
That's it, bro.
And that's where you came up with the post, right? Just kind of messing around.
Yes, Behind the Mic came up with the post. That's right. Down, down, Behind the Mic.
Behind the Mic, and it was just like, we need something there, and it was like, yo, Remy, just crank the tune so I can find a melody. Yeah, and that's what we did. It's just like boom. But again, one of those beautiful moments where literally didn't overthink it. It was all feeling.
Yeah, man.
And we went with that. So I think, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice to talk about those moments, like, because obviously the fans and the listeners love knowing the stories. But we had so much fun.
Do you know what's interesting? I was going to say, do you know what's interesting? We started this podcast with Jared talking about you never know how 1 minute's going to change your whole life. And you guys just told a story about how a song that you wrote in an hour and a half changed everything.
It really, and that's the great thing about our friendship, about what we've been able to do for each other. We've changed each other's lives more than once.
Oh,
you know? And I don't think a lot of people could say that about each other. You know, that's what keeps our bond. Like, we have our families of our own now, and we don't speak as much. He lives in New York, I'm in LA, you know, but
oh man,
but you know, I still feel like you're my brother, you know, no matter what.
100%.
You know what I mean?
We 100%, man. And it's so weird because, you know, when I come to LA now, obviously, you know, I'll go straight into the studio and you're outside with Jeremy talking your stuff. And I always pick on him. Like, always I will tease him. I'll go, you forgot your suit again? And he's like, come on, man. Come on, dog.
Come on, bro.
I'm like, come on, sit in the studio with me, bro. Come on, bro. But you know, yeah. But I honestly, you've always been brilliant at this. I'm not just gassing you. But one thing I remember when I was with Jared and would go into the rooms, you know, with whether it would be the BMI Awards or ASCAP, whatever these rooms were, he would know everybody's name. He would know all the songwriters. He'd know the publishers. He'd be like, he would literally have to be like, Jay, you met this guy 4 months ago. His name's blah, blah. He wrote so-and-so. I was like, okay, thanks. And then, because I wouldn't know and I wouldn't remember, but he always remembered. And I think that's probably why you're so good at what you do now as well, right?
Thank you, man. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It's always something that, and my father, who was a musician, always said that to me. He's like, you're really good with people. He's like, you know, and I remember that would be a superpower of mine, is that I would maybe not be the best singer, maybe not be the best writer in the room sometimes, although most of the time, you know, but I'd be kind, and I would give people the time that they deserve, or don't sometimes even don't deserve. And I think, you know, again, coming with that energy was something that changed, or that was my difference, you know. You know, maybe there was a songwriter much more in demand than I was, but people wanted to work with me, and why we stayed so close is because we were just cool around each other. There was no ego. If you never walk into a room with an ego, man, it's just music. It's not brain surgery, you know? So yeah, I took that, and I still take that with my relationships, as a manager and as a label owner and executive now. You know, I think, it's important to treat people and to remember people, with respect and love. Like, you know, Jeremy and I also started, a meditation label together, where we release all meditation music. It's Sit Till I Learn Love, and you know, Still Records. And
that's a dope name, by the way.
Yeah, Jeremy came up with that. It's awesome, right? He's like, what do you think about Sit Till I Learn Love? I was like, perfect, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy the people aspect of it. You know, I enjoy having a drink with an executive, not to necessarily talk about how we can help each other in business, but just to get to know someone. And you know, even now during these COVID times, and this is just some advice if a young executive or songwriter is listening to this, it's like, yo, you know, be personable, be interested in knowing who someone is before you know what they can do for you. You know, I think that's really important because your relationship will last much longer.
You've been around a lot of very, 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 very influential, very successful people now, especially on this side. Give me some nuggets, bro. Give me some gold. Give me some gems that you've learned. I know that you are studious like that. Is there things you've learned from these people like, whoa, yes, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to apply that to my life. There are things you've learned like that you can share with us?
Sure. I think... and what, you know, having a record label with Republic Records, which is obviously the #1 record label in the world. It's the record label that signed Cash Money, which signed Jay Sean. You know what I mean? Like it's the parent label to all the artists you love. Yeah. You know, from Drake to Taylor Swift. You know,
exactly.
You know, the head of the Snake there is Monty Lippman and his brother Avery Lippman, and I think they embody everything that I'm telling or just said. You know, those guys are people first guys. You know, and their staff is a reflection of that. You know, they promote within, they do all the right things for their people. It's not just about the record all the time, you know, and I think that's the most thing that I've learned is what kind of I've known innately is it's not about what anyone can do for you. I'm telling you, man, it's about being a good person, period. You know, and caring about people, and the other shit, it just will fall into place. And I'm sorry to get all business like, but return an email. Right. You know what I mean? Like and Jeremy will tell you this too. There are like low level executives or A&Rs that will literally take a week sometimes to get back to you. But the CEO will get back to you in 10 minutes, sometimes less. Wow. And that's why they're the CEO. You know, it's not, there's again, no ego. Take ego out of all this shit. From writing to owning the record label, you know, if you let your ego guide you, you're not going to get that far. You know, use your ego for other things.
Look at this guy. Look how you have grown, Mr. Cotter. From going from as seen on TV to this. It's right. Beautiful. Look at that growth, though. That's amazing.
Thanks, man. I owe all the melody.
Yeah.
What's that but that's,
yeah.
That's really amazing, bro. Look, we can talk forever, obviously.
Yeah, we could.
Fucking boys. This is beautiful, man. Is there anything that you want to say, and this you know, that you want to talk about, that you think people don't know, that they should know about the music industry? We know it from a different place, but like, it's the industry. It's business. Is there anything you think you want to tell them from the inside? What about music itself? And let's just quickly talk about that.
Yeah.
You know what it takes. You and Todd, you know what it takes to make this product that lasts about 2.5 minutes. You know everything that goes behind this song. And like you said, they'll listen to it and they're like, that was good. What's next?
Right.
Which is such a bizarre thing because you buy a pair of jeans, you know, and you'll wear them for years.
Yeah.
You know, and yet you'll just disregard a song just like that we put our blood, sweat, and tears into. Is there something that you think, you know, musically...
Young coming artists who would need to know? Yeah.
Any what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Like young up and coming artists, or like if again, seeing as you've now probably had experience or clearly have of so many people, like
what are you looking for in a song and as an artist? What can they bring in this climate where it's so competitive, where there's so much music? How do you get people's attention?
I think that's the same, and it's been true since the beginning of music is you have to have individuality. And I think what's happening a lot now is, and it's always been, but there's like where you, back in the day, you'd have, I don't know, Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul were like, you know, maybe similar type of music. Now you have 15 artists that all sound alike, especially in hip hop. I would say, man, yeah, I would say like, you know, be an individual, you know, and Kanye said something the other day that I thought was so profound. I'm trying to remember it, but he said, they said he was asked what his superpower was. You know, is it that you can influence people? And he said my superpower is that I'm not influenced at all. You know, like he is himself.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is himself.
For better or worse.
For better or worse. And I think that is what's missing in a lot of artists today, is that they think they have to be like Justin Bieber, you know, they have to be like Ariana Grande, you know, because they've made it. It's like, yeah, but they've made it because that's who they are.
They are.
Be who you are. And, you know, maybe you're not Ariana Grande, but you'll be who you are, and it'll make you much more happy or happier in the long run.
I love that, bro. I said that to Alec today, this morning, after I heard the album. I texted him and I said, you know, this doesn't sound like anybody else. It just sounds like you. Exactly
right. And we've had that conversation too, because I think some people want him, you know, he's a white rapper who obviously loves hip hop music. You know, I think rap and hip hop are different.
Right. Me too.
And they want him to be, well, rap is a form of hip hop, I'll say. They want him to be, you know, they want him to be Jack Harlow sometimes, you know, where he's just like, you know, I'm crunk in the club, you know, but that's who Jack Harlow is.
Exactly.
That's not who Alec is. And Alec, to his credit, was just like, no, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. That's not who I am. Instead of doing that, I'm going to do a fucking punk record, because that's who I am. And whether Alec ever becomes who Alec wants to be from a sales perspective, Alec will always be who he is, and he'll be happy with that.
I told him that when we were mixing. Same thing. No,
I love that. Well, listen, I know it's a busy day for you, bro. You got shitloads to do. You got 3.
I mean, I ain't got shit to do, bro. What do you want to talk about?
Fucking love you, bro. You know that, man.
Love you too, man. Love you too.
So nice. I'm so glad that we did this. All right, you get back to your thing, man. Congratulations on everything for you guys. Thank boys, you, I will see you for the next one. And guys, peace out.
Dudes.